Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Liberation Automation, American-made, veteran-owned, performance-inspired. And by Tribotex, make your engine last longer.
If you were with us last week, you got to meet our friends from The Last Coat, and this week we're going to show you their flagship product, which is called The Last Coat, and TLC is another name for it here. So Nick, why is it your most popular product?
I would say it's multi-usable on different surfaces, so that is why people seem to love our claim to fame with that.
You're talking interior and exterior?
Yes.
What does it do to the surfaces on the interior?
It cleans and protects. Biggest thing is if we have a matte surface, if we were to use a dressing or a leather conditioner or something like that, it's going to artificially gloss the surface, might even add reflection off the dash onto the glass, as well as attract dust and other things that we're trying to clean the vehicle. We don't want those things stuck in there. So using the Last Coat prevents those types of things from happening. We just get a clean, protected look.
And because it's multi-surface, you don't need to worry about it accidentally gets on the windshield?
Yeah, they can pretty much touch whatever is in the car. LCD screen, don't have to worry about that stuff.
Now let's talk about the outside here. Why not just use a wax like we've done for years and years and years?
Well, waxes can be very complicated and a little bit frustrating to use. I'm sure we've all been there, applied wax to a vehicle, hazes up, and it is just very difficult to remove. We're sweating, we're struggling, as well as if we get it up into these cracks and crevices, it builds up white, and we certainly don't want that on a black vehicle. If we have black plastic like these here, we would need to tape these off if we're applying wax because it's going to get stuck into the pores and create a white stain in the plastic. The great thing about the Last Coat, we can touch all these surfaces and not do any type of damage. We will only protect the surface.
How easy is it to apply?
So we prefer to spray it right onto a microfiber rag. We certainly want you to conserve the product that you have. A little goes a long way. So I will normally do about not much onto a microfiber, and then we literally hashtag it.
Hashtag it.
Back and forth. I like to do vertical and horizontal movements. We will flip to our dry side of the towel. We'll make a little bit of a buff here. Then we're going to take our second towel just to ensure that we have all product removal. And bam, we have a glossy, slick, very lustrous surface.
That's great. How long is it going to stay like this?
6 months.
But I've read online that a lot of folks like to apply it more than that. How come?
We certainly can add more gloss and depth, believe it or not, to the paint by adding more layers, as well as we get more hydrophobic ability and we get a harder coating on the surface. We can also wash the vehicle, and while it's still wet before we dry it, we actually spray TLC onto the surface and take our pressure washer or a high stream of hose water and we rinse TLC off and then dry the vehicle. And again, we've now applied another layer of TLC to the vehicle at that point.
Well, you can see why TLC is a fan favorite. Go check it out, get a bottle for yourself. Find it at thelastcoat.com/Motorhead. Tribotex is a great product that works. If you just inject it into the engine, you don't have to go through anything extra. But Pasha, if you want to take it to the next level and make Tribotex work at its best, there are a few best practices. Now, number one, you guys have told me, clean the engine. Make sure it's a clean surface to begin with.
Yes, you want to make sure that these surfaces are clean. You can use engine flush before oil change, or you can use our new superior artisan bio-based cleaner called PR1. It is environmentally friendly, it is non-toxic, and third, it is a super concentrate, so a small amount goes really long way.
And the second thing, no other additives. You don't want to put other stuff in your engine while you're using Tribotex.
Yes, all additive companies, we all fight against common enemy, friction and status quo of large oil companies that produce mediocre product. But it is very difficult to know how different additives will interact, so we recommend you to stay with the same technology.
Another one your lead engineer Brian told me about is actually mix Tribotex with the oil before you put the oil into the vehicle, right?
Depends on the application. You can inject it where it's easy to inject, or you can mix it with the oil and pour the oil through the regular route.
You won't notice immediate results necessarily with Tribotex. sometimes it takes a little while, so you need some patience.
You're right. Patience is the virtue in this case, because we are not immediate solid lubricant. We are film former. We build the film over time. It takes about 10 motor hours to build the film that gives you dramatically low friction and all the benefits that goes together with using the product. So when you wait a little, it pays off royally.
But in today's society, I want immediate results. So if I don't see it working immediately, I'm just going to add more and more and more. But that's a big no-no. You don't want to overdo it when it comes to Tribotex.
You will hear difference in noise in the very first 15 minutes when the valve train starts to quiet down. But the biggest difference is from the coating piston cylinder group. The very slow splash lubrication and rings remove most of the lubricant. That's where the most difference for the long-term effect and the fuel consumption happens, and the power. That's what you want to wait for. Lower amount over longer time works better than more at once.
You can learn all about the tips and tricks on how to make your car perform better and how to protect it in the long run on Tribotex.com. Thanks for joining us. Just remember that Jeff is the guy to email if you have something you'd like to see on our show, a product you want to showcase to the world. Email him at jeff@masterstv.com. We're going to do this again next week, and we hope you join us. In the meantime, catch us on YouTube or our Facebook page. We'll see you next time on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. So long.